Hello and welcome to Blues View. I'm Paul Bradley and I'm joined now by Birmingham City correspondent Colin Tattum. Hi Colin.
Oh.
Well, you were at last night's match between Blues and Hull at St Andrews. Give us your verdict on the game.
A little bit disappointing all told. Blues just didn't do enough to win the game. I mean, they were very solid defensively, as you would expect. But then again, so were Hull. They've got the meanest defence in the division, and Blues have got the second meanest defence in the division. So, something had to give, and it didn't really. But from Blues' perspective, again, goals have dried up a little bit, and they just couldn't create enough, and they just didn't do enough. It's particularly in the first half when they were very disappointing.
Will that be a worry for Chris Hughton? Up until now, the last few games, they've been scoring kind of 4, 5 goals in many of their games. Now the goals just starting to dry up a bit. Do you think Chris Hughton will be looking on the training ground at maybe how they can create chances again?
I think he won't be unduly worried. I think previously the big thing was that Blues were very clinical. They were creating chances and taking them, and now they're just not clinical enough. And I think what hasn't helped, he's had a few injuries to key players. Zigic being out has been a miss, and Marlon King isn't quite 100%. It's my understanding that he's sort of putting himself out there to help, really. But anyone who's seen him in the last 3 games just knows that his groin is troubling him a little bit. And of course, with Gyan and Dorr not there, they're missing that bit of oomph and power from central midfield as well. And then they've got a very big problem, in my view, about the left side with Jean Beausejour's sale. He has caused a bit of a headache from a balance perspective, and also in the fact that he is somebody who can unlock defences and can be creative. So he's got a few sort of testing problems, and with the games again coming thick and fast, he's just got to sort of manage as he goes along and hope that defensive strength stays, and they can get back on the winning trail and get back on the goal trail.
Is there a quick fix for Chris Hughton in terms of maybe bringing somebody in to do a job for the rest of the season, somebody on loan or anything along those lines, or is that still very much up in the air?
I think he's made it clear that he's hoping to bring up to 3 players in, and he seems to be fairly confident that he's close in getting somebody in by the end of this week. They're looking at Caleb Foran. He has been released by MLS side Colorado Rapids, a striker formerly with Hull, and he's a free agent, so he could be an option. But definitely Chris Hughton is looking in the loan market for a striker and somebody to play down that left side and give them a little bit extra down the flank there. I mean, he knows exactly that they do need a couple of bodies in, but as he said all along as well, they have to be of the right quality and of the right type. And at the moment, he's found it difficult to sort of bring in the players ideally he wanted.
And Colin, just lastly, you mentioned there that the fixtures are coming thick and fast. What do you see as kind of the most vital areas for Blues now to make sure that they're still in the running come the last few weeks of the season, either for automatic promotion or the playoffs?
I think they've definitely got to bring in a couple of players to give them a little bit of a freshness and extra legs and impetus. But ultimately, it's as I mentioned, it's making sure that defensively they stay sound. That is the bedrock to any success. They've got 9 clean sheets in the last 12 games, which is nothing to be sniffed at. And if they can carry on in a similar sort of vein, then it always gives you a chance at the other end. And it is also getting players back fit and fully fiery, like Nikola Zigic, Marlon King, Gyan and Dorr as well. I mean, there's no need to panic, but obviously everybody knew with the size of Blues squad, it wasn't going to be easy this season, but they're still in there and they're still knocking on the door, and there's no reason on the evidence so far why they sort of can't maintain this push for promotion.
Okay, Colin, well, look, thank you for your thoughts and your insights once again this week, and thank you for listening to Blues View. We'll be back again next week with more from the show.